For the Enzyme Lab, we want to see how we can get this lactase enzyme to produce the most glucose. Now remember, lactase breaks down lactose. Lactose consists of glucose and galactose. So if we measure the glucose production, we're seeing how lactase, the enzyme, is working on lactose, the sugar. So first thing we want to do is just see what the result is under normal circumstances. So I haven't adjusted anything. I'm just clicking the run button and I see the result under normal circumstances. To get some data from this, I can just put my finger on the screen here and I'm moving over to the end of the run where I see the numbers 493. So that's going to be the highest glucose production that we have. Now that raises a question. What happens if I start to change some of the variables? If I start to change some of the variables, how does that impact the ability of lactase, the enzyme, to work? One of the things I can do, for example, is change the temperature. So I'm just clicking in the temperature box here and I'm changing it to different things, like let's say 0. And if I click run and the temperature is at 0, what does that do to the ability of lactase to work? So I want to check it at 0, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. Just see how does changing the temperature impact lactase's ability to work as an enzyme. The next thing I want to do is change the pH. I'm going to do it the same way. I'll start at 0 and see what happens when the pH is 0. Does lactase, the enzyme, work? Then I want to see, like, what about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and see different pH levels. Where does lactase work the best? Finally, I want to adjust the amount of lactose I'm starting with, the initial sugar I'm starting with. How does that impact everything? Once I figure out which numbers work for each variable, then I'm going to try and set all 3 variables to those specific numbers and see if that gives me the maximum amount of glucose. Then I want to experiment to see if those combinations are correct. So I don't want to just say, oh, I got those 3 and I'm going to give it a try. I want to test it and see if my combination actually yields the most possible glucose. And that's the goal. Once you get those things done, you can answer them on your lab handout, and that's what you're going to turn in.